Hello guys, I'm the Professor Chief and this is a cosplay vlog. One thing that I haven't done in a while, except for the one time that I have done it and I never posted it because I didn't feel like it. But since this one I'm actually going to post and I'm actually going to hold myself to that, so let me just update you guys if you care. If not, oh well, no skin off my teeth. But, you know, first things first, let me just summarize how last year's cosplay went. Last year's cosplay was kind of a learning experience. It was very much a journey of how much I could fuck up and how much I could get right while, you know, trying to have this idea of how good something was going to look. Now, when the thing you make ends up not being what you want it to be, it tends to hit you hard in the chest. But this year I took a very different approach. Right now behind me that you see, these two, this right there and that, those are two things that I made last year. This is my helmet and this was the sword, which I never actually used because, well, I kind of designed it like shit, so I never actually brought it, and, you know, I was an idiot. But that's a story for another time. But for the helmet, I did wear the full costume, which, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a side-by-side of the two, you know, by the end of this, because I'm not done working on the costume. I did a lot of work today, but it's definitely like a night and day sort of thing. But with this, let me just say that while making this costume, you know, that, you know, I would end up wearing at last year's MegaCon, I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed every aspect of making this because it was a learning experience. And I basically learned that going into something with no idea what you're doing or no plan can royally fuck up what you're doing. And this helmet is kind of the, you know, antithesis of all that. This helmet, you know, while for me I love it, you know, I love the fact that it works as a helmet. It fits. Like, if I can take my glasses off and my hat and put it on, no problem. But, you know, there's a different kind of, you know, problems that I had when I was making it. You know, when I made this last year, I kind of towards the end I started to rush things. And because I had never made something like this, there was always a chance of making so many mistakes. And this helmet is kind of proof. I mean, I made this helmet in two pieces, you know. You have the actual main helmet, and then you have the mask piece, which are connected by magnets. That's why I can tear it off so easily. But this year, I changed it a tad bit. My designs, I decided to tone it down a bit and try and keep them, you know, fluent throughout everything. So no overly flamboyant, you know, designs. It's just simple, and it worked. This year it worked a hell of a lot better than it did last year. And to kind of prove that point, this is my helmet for this year. Yeah, this is my new helmet. You have the old one and the new one. Two totally different helmets. Now, with this helmet, the one I have here, this one, I did do one helmet before it, but it was kind of, I had to see what, I did something wrong. I can't remember what I did wrong. Oh, I was just unsure of the cast that I made for my head, so I just redid it just to be safe. I'm pretty sure it would have worked. you know, there's only a slight flaw in this helmet, is that my nose touches the visor. You know, it's like right on the visor, so when I would take, when I take my, you know, when I go to put it on, which I'm going to do again, it goes on fine. Whether or not you can actually hear me, that's a different story. But my nose is right here. Right here. Now, I could probably put something in here to puff it out a bit so my nose doesn't hit it. But I'm not that broken up about my nose hitting it. I mean, all it needs is something to push it up. And my nose will probably not touch it. But, that being said, I'm a hell of a lot more happier. What the fuck is in my hair? Oh. No, that's what's in my hair. Fucking, I have a bunch of nylon in my hair. My glasses are falling apart. But I'm happier with the way this helmet turned out compared to the helmet below it. The helmet below it, it was very much, as I said, it was run around and see what I could do and not have an idea that whatever I was doing was right. Definitely for next year, I'm actually going to go get an actual template for, you know, an actual Boba Fett helmet and do it with that. Because I think this is pretty close, but I just want to do it with a, you know, with an actual template just for the fun, because that's eventually where it's leading. And, you know, another big difference was, a few years ago, I actually went and got myself actual armor, you know, Mandalorian armor. You know, it came unpainted and all I had to do was paint it. I had everything. The only thing I didn't have was a helmet. I had the arm pieces, which I have no idea where those went. And I wonder if this will fit. Let's find out. And it's spinning around. Just me and my bulbous head. There we go. You know, I bought this armor for 1 year. You know, that was going to complete. Totally do a Mandalorian costume. I think I also bought a jumpsuit for it too, which I have no idea where that is either. But I bought these, you know, I bought it, and then I just kept it, you know, I kept the armor pieces, I just kept them away. And for this year I was going to make, you know, a whole new chest piece, but it dawned on me that I still had this armor. And it just so happens today I spent all day, and I'm not lying when I say I spent all day putting it together. And I actually think it looks good. Yes, you're not going to see much in this because, you know, I can't show much because I don't want to particularly stand up, take my glasses off again, and put it on. But does it fit? Yes. Will you see it in a future video? Probably when I get my undershirt that's supposed to go with it. Yes, that's why I haven't exactly done any touch-ups. That's why there's a lot of fat on it. I need to trim it a tad bit, but I want to wait until I get my tunic that's supposed to go underneath it to then, you know, trim it. I also have to put the shoulder pieces on it because the shoulder pieces aren't on it either. So I'll put those on, but they're all painted and ready to go. And I have my other pieces, which, you know, these are just basic leg design. It's all just silver spray paint. Then I just sanded it up to get some roughness in it. And then I went over with just black acrylic. And that's how I got that nice little gray metal effect. Same thing on the armor. Painted it, hit it with sandpaper, and then made a mess. Then cleaned the mess up a tad bit. These are my gauntlets for this year. And yes, just because these gauntlets I made before I decided to whip out the old, you know, my OG armor that I had, and I just kept it around. But so I'm not gonna have, like, you know, the wrist gauntlets, and I plan on again doing those. I think I'll do those down the road, right? I do have leg pieces that I could have done for the armor. I have other pieces, I have knee pieces, but they're not on my priority of things that need to be done because I have everything that I need to be done. And the other thing that you can see right here, this is my sword, the new one. It's based off the, an actual vibroblade design. Well, not really actual, it's just more like I saw a vibroblade design and go, that would work better than what the hell I was doing, which was pretty much a smaller version of this monster that's back here that has the helmet. So I basically went through and said, you know what, we need to do this right, did it that way. I know next year I'm definitely going to do it and use probably a lot of different other methods this time. A little less, a little less foam core board and probably a little bit more PVC pipe, because looking at that method, it seems to come out a tad bit better, and I just want to try it. If it wouldn't hurt to try, and I really want to try it. So this looks like it'd be a fun, day of experimenting, creating a vibroblade out of PVC pipe, and hey, if it works, it works. And the next thing I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna actually make actual torso pieces, but my main goal after this con would be focus on the sword before the armor and keep dropping weight, because I know at the beginning of the year I was like 300 plus, and I'm slowly getting to where I really want. I want to be, by the end of the year, at least in the 270s. I'm currently sitting around 283. It fluctuates, depending on how much downtime I do, how much I eat, and I try to eat better. But good thing is I get a free gym membership when it comes to going to work, because my work is all about moving heavy objects, and that kind of helps, strengthen me up, So, I'm fully prepared for that kind of. I'm fully prepared when it comes to like that sort of thing, but I do want to hit the gym one of these days, or at least start doing some other exercise. But that's not cosplay talk, that's more fitness talk, but that's my goals. I'm also getting married. See the ring? And I'll be getting married soon, and I will, when I have the wife in the video, which technically now she's not the wife, she's just the fiance, but I call her my wife now, because before I used to just call her my girlfriend, and even after proposing to her on Christmas, I kept calling her my girlfriend. So now I just got that habit, just calling her my wife, because it's just a lot easier to remember. But again, not cosplay topics, but I just like to talk. So yeah, I don't know how much more I can talk about. I mean, there's not a lot that I can really express at the moment, or at least show, because without the rest of the pieces to go together and actually wearing them, then you'll actually get to see them. Because it's one thing for me to hold up the pieces or have this behind me, but when you see it all together, then you'll get a general idea. Like I have my cloak that's in there, that's hanging on a hanger, but I'm not going to bring that out. I brought the armor out because that's the more important part. I have to say that this year is definitely one of those times where I just go, yeah, that's one hell of a difference. Because last year I had all the time in the world, because I wasn't working. I didn't have a job. I didn't get a new job until after last year's MegaCon, and now I have a job, and I've had the job since I think somewhere in August of last year, and I'm coming up with it being at my current job for a year. And while I like the job and it's a pain in the ass some days, and it leaves me. You come home feeling very, depressed. At least for me personally, especially when you have one of those bad days. Even good days can leave me feeling, not feeling like myself. And I mean, people who know me, I'm pretty sure if I ever had my wife sit here in this position and talk about me, she'd say I'm a dick, but I'm generally a nice person. And there's certain days where I go into work, and then for whatever reason I just want to punch the person next to me. But the reason I don't do it is because it wouldn't benefit me to do that, so I'm not going to do it. And I've been off for the past 2 days. I go back to work tomorrow, which I'll go to bed, probably around 2 o'clock, because that's what I do. But it's just been I started working on this yesterday. I Mod Podged all the stuff that needs to be Mod Podged, and then I painted it all today. Weathered it, attached the armor to the vest. I'm gonna make over the shoulder holster, holder, sheath for the sword that I'm gonna be using the 2mm EVA foam for. Yeah, I feel more motivated now, but I think that's because I realized that the convention's in a few weeks and I really don't have time to be fucking around, but also that sitting around and just doing nothing and feeling bad for yourself isn't gonna get you anywhere. And yeah, while I wish I could, be paid more to do my job, or even get paid to do this, but I have a very strict rule when it comes to this sort of thing, when it comes to crafting and selling it to people, if you're watching this, to people like you. And my rule is simple: I'm not going to sell something until I feel I've earned it. And that means putting hours upon hours into working on it, perfecting it. That's why I don't sell my art even when I draw or anything. I don't sell it because there's this sort of thing that I have in here in my heart that I feel that if I was to sell you something, it has to be the best. I have to put out the best that I can. And that's how I feel about doing this costume now. I want to put my best foot forward. And yes, maybe that means I'm not going to make my own chest piece. I have the chest piece. I spent a lot of fucking money just to buy it a few years ago. And now I'm going to use it the way I should have used it. And probably should have used it last year. But if I didn't fuck up last year, and I mean this literally, if I didn't fuck up last year, then I would be sitting here, I'd be so content with what I was doing that I wouldn't have any idea. Like this year, I strictly forbidden myself from going into using thick foam, like very thick foam. Like thick foam's a last resort. Yes, thick foam is good, but I found that I got a better result from thin foam. Like my gauntlet pieces that I have now, I made them out of 2mm foam, with the upper piece being another strip of 2mm. It works. And I know even pieces of the other armor, my first one, they were 6mm, I think, foam. And it works better, and I found it easier to use, and I took that knowledge and gone, okay, if I'm going to use thick foam, which I did use, I actually used thick foam for what's, put in for the helmet, for the visor, so it mounts into so I have a way to mount it in. I used that. But it was the only thing I was going to use it for, because that was just what I decided would be the best, option. It's not to go use, I'm not going to go, drop a whole bunch of money to get floor mats when I know I haven't gone through all my foam. I still have a lot of foam because I bought like 6 rolls of 2mm and then like 4 rolls of 6mm from TNT Cosplay, which is a wonderful place, and I'm probably going to buy more because I plan on, experimenting with their thick foam to make, my vibro blades, along with using PVC pipe. And that fuck up, all those fuck ups that you have, if you don't learn from them, then you're gonna be worse off when you go back to do it again. You're gonna repeat the same mistakes. And yes, I made a few mistakes. None of this stuff's perfect. The only thing that's really perfect is the chest, the torso armor, but I didn't make that. All I did was paint it and mount it onto the vest. But everything else I made. The sword, the helmet, except for the visor. That I got from T-Visor. Great place. Even the visor inside the old helmet, got it from T-Visor. There is a certain idea that if you want to be perfect, you need to be perfect the first time around, and that's not going to work. And it, especially depending on what kind of person is, typically most people know this right away, but if you're that type of person who just automatically has this set in stone idea, this is what it's going to look like, it's going to look amazing, and then when you take a step back and you look at it and you go, oh shit, that is not exactly what I expected it to be, that is when you basically you realize you fucked up, and you have two choices. You either move on and not attempt it again, or you attempt it again, but this time you take a step back. You look at what you did wrong, and then you learn from it. That's what I did when I made, the swords. I fucked up on multiple occasions, but eventually I had to suck it up and go, alright, first things first. If the material isn't going to work the way I want it to, maybe we should take a step back. I didn't have time to go build a flattening, to go get PVC, go buy PVC pipe, go get the wood, to make something to flatten it with. But after the con, I have all the time in the world until the next con rolls around. And then I can start experimenting, making it better, making the armor better. Just simply experiment, because I'll have the material and I'll have the time. And if I stop now, that's kind of a big problem. And that's kind of what I don't want to do. I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing, because it just, honestly, it seems like if I do stop, why did I begin doing it? Because if I stop, it means I gave up. And you don't want to give up just because something's hard. You want to keep going. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to keep going until either I'm not financially able to do it, but I'm not financially able to do it, I won't do it. I'll just, I'll wait. I have time. But when it's financially able to do, I'm going to continue working on it. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep making it better. So that when next year rolls around, there's a better idea. Next year, I'm going to devote my time to learning everything, about it. I'm going to go get, go buy, actual patterns. Like, I want to make an actual Boba Fett pattern for next year. The actual helmet. It's not going to be, painted like it is, but, same thing. I want to make the armor, same Boba Fett armor, or even try and find, see if somebody's made, new Old Republic Mandalorian armor, something like that. Something that I'm kind of impartial to the Old Republic armor, or it doesn't matter. Just something to go off of, and then teach myself, and to keep teaching until the point where doing it, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do it this way. Hell, maybe even try wrapping my arms again, which is something I tried to do before, but it didn't work. So I used the foam roller method, which that's how I got my gauntlets, and it works pretty well. I want to go back to using it because I think, I fucked up something, and I have to I think I need to get a little bit smarter about it, because I think I'm going to stop using aluminum foil for it. I think aluminum foil works good on the head, but I think I'm going to use shrink wrap from now on around my arm and legs, torso, that sort of thing. Because that's what I used on my helmet, as I used aluminum foil for the head. But I think my head's kind of odd, and the helmet does this odd dip in the back, so I have to do a lot more research. I need to get a little bit smarter about it, and hell, who knows what I can do. It's like, I don't want to, you can't stop, and I'm not going to, and I plan on making next year's costume a hell of a lot better. And the year after that, even if I'm making the same Mandalorian outfit, because I'm a huge fan of Mandalorian, I will make the same goddamn costume every year until I feel it's right, because that's what kind of person I am. It's same thing, always, keep going, don't stop until it is what I want it to be. I will keep going. That's why I don't throw out my failures. This sword right here is one big fucking failure, and I refuse to throw it out, because as a reminder, this is what happens when you just jump in head first without thinking. And that's what happened. What's behind it, while it isn't the best, and I see the flaws, I still enjoy it for what it is. It still came out a hell of a lot better than this thing. And, looking at it, I see a bunch of flaws, but I have a feeling that I can come up with a creative way to hide them. That's what I do with my helmet. That's why I use black acrylic on my helmet. I didn't try and like go through and cover all the flaws. No, I left a lot of the flaws there, and then used them as a, use them to weather the helmet. You know, from scratching it up, just leaving the nicks, stuff like that. Just leaving it alone. I'm more satisfied with this than I am with what I have here. This is, exactly what it should have been last year. It was planned, it was calculated, and it looks, it looks better. It just doesn't look like somebody just started throwing stuff at the wall and was disappointed when stuff didn't stick. Because that's the problem. Without thinking, I am royally fucked. The moment I stop thinking and I just go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to fail. Immediately. I need to spend at least a few days planning, and then a day or two, depending on what thing I'm doing. If it's a day for a gauntlet, and I work on the gauntlet, if I'm using measurements, I make a test gauntlet to make sure it fits. If I'm not, then, if I'm using the pattern, I make sure the pattern's right. I cut it, put it on phone, do another test one. If it fits well and it works, then I go ahead, no questions asked. I have to learn. If I don't learn, then I'm just gonna be disappointed when I fail. And when you fail, and when you have that sort of mindset that you need to get perfect, it's going to affect you deeply, and so deeply that you're just gonna go, no, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. That's what I'm trying to prevent, for myself, and by spreading the message to you guys is simple. Don't give up. Just keep going. If you fail, you keep going. Don't be ashamed that you failed. And that was the thing that stopped me from, making this. When I could have gotten this stuff done, a month ago and had time to relax and improve stuff. I didn't. I got it done, a few weeks before the con, and now I'm just doing some extra stuff just to add it for, why not? I got it, might as well add it. And I have one thing I have to attach to the armor, but I kind of ran out of buttons to attach to the vest, so I have to go get buttons for it. But I seriously thought that I wasn't going to make this. I felt like shit to the point where there were some days where when you wake up and you had that feeling where you just, no, it's not worth it. To say, in this day and age that, this sort of little thing when everyone's having their own problems, in the world that are bigger than this, and this is the thing that troubles me the most. Because, this is personal for me, and as a person that all he wants to do is create stuff, whether it's to make myself happy or other people happy, I hold myself to a standard that when I don't meet it, it affects me deeply, or even if I'm not feeling it that day and I can't muster up the energy to pick up my pen and draw, or, work on the armor, that affects you on such a deep level that it will even bleed over to work, to the way that, little things at work would affect me, to a point where, some days you just go, no, I'm not coming, I'm just going to leave, fuck you, I'm done. And that's kind of the thing that I have to stop. And with this vlog, maybe there's going to be a next one after this, maybe there's not. Last year, I made them up to a point and then I stopped because, eventually I just felt like I couldn't do it. And yes, this video is running long, for a vlog, but this is kind of my way of just expressing myself. None of my words that are coming out of my mouth should be taken, should be taken as a sign that, how should I put this? All of my words are just warnings, they're advice. If you take my advice, fine. If you don't, fine. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice, and my choice was to give up until I remembered that if I gave up doing what I was doing, that it's a massive betrayal to my friends that, I follow, who follow me on all my social media, whether it be DeviantArt, Twitter, and I'm not saying fans, I'm saying friends, because everyone that I meet, that even though I don't talk nor do I express myself, because I'm very much an antisocial type of person, I consider every one of them to be a friend, and it's a deep kind of bond that I keep, even to friends that I don't talk to these days. They're all friends to me, and even if I don't talk to them or we've moved apart, I still remember the good times that I've spent with them. They're my friends. We had those moments when I was in my lowest of lows, it took one person to, just being my friend to rise me out, or just wanting to end it all, and I became the person I am today because of that person. And that's why, even though we don't talk to each other, we moved on from each other, I don't feel any hatred towards this person, because he was my friend. And if he called me today or if he sent me a message, I'd respond to him in a heartbeat because he's my friend. And for you guys, when you follow me on social media or even on here, if you follow me on the Professor G's channel, yes, there's not a lot of contact going off because I'm a normal person. The only way I could do this full time is if I'm getting paid to, but I'm not. So videos are going to be sporadic, and that's just, maybe I can release a video every few years. Oh well. But if you follow me, you're not just a fan, you're a friend. You're somebody that if you want to talk, you can talk. Whether it be in the comments or going to whether Twitter, DeviantArt, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can find me, and just saying, hey, what's up? How you doing? You are a friend, and that sort of thing is a very impactful thing that I want, to have. It's like I would rather have friends than just people who are just blindly following me, and because that just doesn't sound fun. Because I want you guys to express your opinions towards me and to hold me to a higher standard, and then for me to, again, express my opinions to you. And when you guys show me something you do, hold you guys to a higher standard, whether or not you're good at something or not. If you're an amateur, I can recognize an amateur. If you're a pro, I can recognize a pro. I'm an amateur. I probably will be, for most of my life. But as long as I'm having fun, who gives a shit? And, for the first time in a while, I found that spark, that passion again to start working again, to make something great. And I have to get back to work soon, and, a 33-minute long video about me rambling about costuming and then my own, feelings in a deep philosophical, discussion is probably not a good idea, but because I just want to post a video and an update vlog, this is it. You're gonna get the whole shebang out in the open, because I've had this shit stored up for a while, so might as well get it out in the open. So if you're watching and you follow me on Twitter, which I will post this video there. Hi guys, especially to you Halo. Hi Halo, how you doing? Hi Bex, how you doing? And definitely to my friends and family on Facebook. Hi guys, how you doing? You guys tend not to see this side of me a lot. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm pretty sure when you talk to me in public, you're just gonna get nothing but this wretched asshole who just loves to poke fun at everything he can possibly get his hands on, as long as it doesn't go to a level, because even I have standards of what I will ridicule and what I will actually insult, because trust me, I'm not about to get the shit kicked out of me just because I want to make a dumb joke. Because I love making dumb jokes, but there are some jokes that even I won't make. So, hi guys. But to you guys on YouTube who are watching this, thank you for following. Or even just watching the video, downvoting it because it's too damn long, upvoting it because you agree with the content, or just watching the first second, clicking off the video and running away. That's just enough. Thank you guys. And I will maybe make another video. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to make one because that would be terribly irresponsible of me to say, hey, I'll see you guys in the next video, when I probably won't make a next video, and then the next time you see me I'll be clean shaven, I'll have my hair cut, because, you know, rocking, you know, nothing says fun like a 28-year-old still rocking, you know, the mullet when he's losing half his hair because, you know, genetics is a bitch. This is my crime, you know. It's the reason I wear hats, because look at my hair. I'm 28 and I'm almost lost almost all my hair. Man, my dome is shiny. Put that hat back on, or else it takes up the camera. But, well, other than that, that's it. You know, on to Professor Chief. And this was the cosplay vlog, or the cosplay corner, whatever the hell I called it in the first video I did. But later, dudes.